Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us at the Single Cask Club here at the Strong Watercoat. I'm live from the shop, well not live, it's recorded, from the shop here on Bankery High Street up in the northeast of Scotland. So thank you all very much for getting involved. I think this is something that I've been wanting to do for a little bit of time now, and great to be able to get it off the ground. So a bit of background about my thoughts around the Single Cask Club is we get loads and loads of independently bottled casks in to us every month, and basically what I want to do is pick out a couple of my favourites every month, send them out to you, and then give you an opportunity for some discount off them, 10% off all our whiskies, and then also with being a member of the Single Cask Club, you get access to unique and rare and collectible bottles throughout the year. So the members, you guys will be the first ones to know about any new releases that come out. You'll get the first dibs on everything. And if you take all the allocation, it's all gone. That's great. If you don't, not a problem. So all it is creating a membership little club where we can drink some whiskey, you can get some benefits of being in, and then you also get access into, the first access into these new collectible bottles. So we have our first ever whiskey. So in your box there, you'll see you've got dram 1 and dram 2. This is how it will always come. We're planning some other bits and bobs where there may be a third dram in there as well, but we'll just see how that rolls on. But what you'll always get is 2 drams. So, and they'll always be from single cask or sister cask batched together or something like that. So what we're trying to do is the small batch whiskey, but getting in, opening bottles and drinking it with friends. So the first ever whiskey that we've got is from Douglas Lane. For those of you who don't know Douglas Lane, they're third generation independently owned family bottlers. So they started with Douglas Lane, was the original founder, then it was handed on to Fred, and now Cara and Chris, who are Cara is Fred's daughter, who's married to Chris, are now in charge of the company now. So the first bottling we have from them is a wonderful bottle of Blair Athol. So Blair Athol is a super interesting distillery, often actually known as it is the home of bells. So really not very glamorous top end, but actually when you get into single cask like this, the spirit type really lends itself to kind of super active casks and things like that. So originally founded in 1798, it was known as Aldur, and then it was changed to Blair Athol later on. It's got a really short fermentation in the distillery, up to a kind of maximum of 50 hours. And this really helps a weighty nuttiness and also like a balanced fruitiness throughout the spirit. Again, really lending itself to either sherry or kind of super active hogshead casks and things like that. So the cask that we have here is a refill hogshead cask, 419 bottles out of this cask, and it's bottled at 46%, and it's an 8-year-old Blair Athol. So we'll start with the first one. So pour ourselves a dram. So with your glasses, if you haven't tasted whiskey before, you can do what you want. You can be as strawberry as you want. You can write down tasting notes, or you can do anything, or you can just open it and drink it and not worry. But we'll go through the tasting notes that I think this has. So on the nose, I think there's a lot of kind of spiced oak, kind of going to honeycomb, and then after the honeycomb you get this real like bite freshness of green apple, but really you get that weightiness which gets that green apple leading into kind of really lovely soft kind of buttery pastry. So sticking our nose in it will get some into us. It's like, as it is, peaches and cream. I think there's a really lovely long milky cerealness in the middle of it, but then when we're getting to the back of the palate, you've got this kind of stewed appley autumnal fruits kind of style, which is just fantastic. Then the finish on it, it's long, it's kind of more tropical fruits. You get a bit more oak wood shavings there, and then it just finishes with this lovely kind of wood shavings, lovely long creamy finish on it. Very, very delicate, but yeah, delicate ending for a big punchy spirit. But yeah, super interesting. Quite a dark colour, you can see on the bottle there. That's not sherry or anything, that's just a super active refill hogshead cask there. So yeah, dram number 1 of the Single Cask Club, Blair Athol 8-year-old. As we say, these products are online. If you scan the barcode again, that will lead you directly to the website where the discount code will already be implemented. So enjoy that, and we'll come to dram 2. So hope everyone enjoyed that first one, and we'll move to the second one. So dram number 2, the second ever dram of the Single Cask Club, is part of the Strong Water Co.'s own single cask bottlings as well. So with this series of bottlings, I was really struggling to find stuff on the shelf that I could keep for a bit longer. So heavy sherried whiskey around kind of anywhere between 8 to 12 years old at a decent price point was always flying, and there was never a good, consistent enough supply of it. So what I've got out is teamed up with the guys at Douglas Lane, found a cask of decent sherried spirit and bought the whole thing. So therefore we've got a much longer and more consistent supply of whiskey. So we did the same with the Fettercairn early in the summer. We've got a few bottles of that left as well. But this one that we're doing here is from Duff Distillery up in Banff. So yeah, this is a fairly new distillery in all terms, founded in 1960. Also known as Glendevron, or the Devron is what they're kind of producing at now. Owned by Bacardi, so it's a big kind of big blending house, that kind of thing. Produces almost 2.5 million litres of spirit a year, so it's big kind of thing. It's then the same as the Blair Athol. It uses a fairly short fermentation, quick fermentation, and a quick mash, or the quick mash before the fermentation, a short fermentation, and cold condensers. And that really helps create weight within the spirit as well, which again lends it to active hogsheads or sherry casks. So once you've got that big weighty spirit, they've got quite kind of tall stills with an upward leaning line arm as well, which really helps the reflux back in the stills and create more weight and stuff within that there. So yeah, let's have a little bit. A shot bottle, we've always got bottles open in the shop, so if you're ever passing, do come in, get another dram. So this, I think to me, this is just, you know, a 9-year-old spirit just in a super active sherry cask like this. It's second fill Oloroso, the cask that this has been in. But really, I think you get bags of Demerara sugar to start with, and it's kind of dried apricot-y, kind of more kind of almost dried apricot going to kind of mango. I think it's just got that real classic sherryness, but without wanting to use all the classic sherry tasting notes. But yeah, it's all that winter dried fruits, autumnal dried fruits, stewed apples, stewed plums, kind of all of that. Brandy baskets, I think this really gets me on. I think that note really carries on all the way through. So get the nose and have a taste. So you get a real crunch, I think, of sugar to start off with, which is like a kind of toffee apple for me. And then you get this lovely kind of rising up spiciness to it, soft spice, winter kind of soft spices that kind of dips away at the end, and then it just goes. The end of the palate for this is so creamy. I think for me it's just fantastic. It's got that lovely, really kind of rich, silky mouthfeel around it as well. And then the finish is, when we get there, it's kind of a little kind of burst of fresh spice, and then it's just malty sweetness, and just, it's a really, to me, this is a super like restorative winter dram. I think it's fantastic. It's got, yeah, that wholesome malty sweetness, and then just this brandy creaming finish to it, which is just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, those are our first two drams for the Single Cask Club. So do scan the QR code on the little flyer that you've got there. Scan that, that'll take you directly to the website. 10% will be applied off whiskies. And because you're in the club, you're now will get emails about stuff, new releases and things like that we have coming. So we do have some stuff coming up. So please keep your eyes peeled, and thank you very much. We'll see you in January. Cheers.